Hey, it's BrickTsar. We're driving in a parking lot, and I just did a haul, and it was from Bargain Hunt, and I was missing I bought a set that had been returned, and it may be missing items, which is a risk that happens at Bargain Hunt. So anyway, it got me thinking about a back question that was asked by Aexis Crater, and I may be I am driving. Not maybe driving, but I may not be remembering exactly the question, but he asked something along this lines. He said, have you ever been scammed online? And not necessarily Lego. And there's a lot of different ways that you can be scammed online. One way is like these emails that people send, like we're going to send you $29 million. Just send us your bank account and we'll send you the $29 million. You keep $8 million, we'll get the other. You know, those types of scams, which are for the stupid. Oh. I mean, how dumb do you have to be to give somebody your checking account number thinking they're going to give you $8 million to launder some money? All right, those are usually anything you get by email, mail, telephone call is a scam. Okay, so no, I've not been scammed like that. Another type of scam or fraud is like identity theft. If that has happened to me, I'm not aware of it yet. But online scams would be like maybe you went to buy something on eBay and the seller didn't send it, and then you had to fight it with eBay. And usually eBay's rules are pretty good to protect the buyer. Or it could be another website like even Amazon, because Amazon's got a lot of resellers on there, but I'm sure they have pretty strict standards too for their sellers. I've tried selling stuff on Amazon in the past. It's just the fees are so much. I had to mark the stuff up so high that just to cover the fees that nothing ever sold. So and then BrickLink, can you be scammed on BrickLink? Yes, I guess you could, just like any other online site. But again, if you go through all the steps, you can get your money back depending on what payment method you used, and you can get the person kicked off the site eventually. So it goes back to the original question, have I been scammed? And yes, I have. And it was all with eBay. And eBay had a payment system before PayPal. PayPal started independently of eBay. And before that, I think it was called Bill Pay or Bill Point. It might have been called Bill Point. But eBay had their own payment system. And then they did away with it, and then they bought PayPal. So this was before PayPal. And I sent a Silver Champion. Wish I'd kept one of those. It's a Technic set. I bought, I think, 10 of them from Walmart online back in, I want to say it was in 2000. I can't remember exactly what year it was. It was a long time ago, but bought 10 of them. Bought 10 of those and 10 of the Mr. Freeze train. That Railway Express, I think it's 4561. But the Silver Champion is big, like a Formula One looking car. Big Technic set. And I had got all those, and I'd been selling them on eBay. And I sent this one so they paid with that Bill Point, or Bill Pay, or whatever it was called. I think it was Bill Point. And now I can't remember. I think it was Indonesia or Thailand. One of those places. I can't remember. So anyway, I sent it. They paid. I sent it. Well, about a month or so later, I get a chargeback. And the chargeback was for that. So they took all the money I paid for shipping. eBay just yanked it out, because what had happened was the person that purchased the item used a stolen credit card. The address, I guess, didn't match up. You know, I have no way of verifying that. back then, and so it's just like a merchant. If, let's say you go to Walmart, or let's not you, let's say a criminal steals your credit card and goes to Walmart and uses it, and Walmart doesn't go through all their process to check, like check your ID, check your signature, and they let the transaction go through, and then the real owner of the credit card says, hey, I didn't make these charges. Walmart is responsible. So it's the same thing with eBay. If I allow somebody to pay with their payment method, eBay takes the money back and gives it back to the real person that is innocent in all this, and I'm out the money. And I was so mad at eBay because it's totally, the whole system is against the sellers. I mean, it's just, they want you to use this payment system, and then they got to the point where they didn't want you to use what I viewed as safer payment by money order, especially postal money orders. Never had a problem with a postal money order, but they don't allow that anymore. So it was, I want to say I sold the set, I may have only sold it for like $100 and something. I mean, it was worth more than that, and the shipping was like $50. So not only did I lose all the money, so basically the money of the $150 or whatever he sent me is like it never came. I paid the $50 for the shipping, so that money was gone, and I didn't have the set anymore, and I couldn't get the person because he's in another country. So that was my first really bad experience on eBay. Fortunately, at that time, I had been selling so much stuff. I sold a lot of Lego sets back then. I was making really good. So losing $150 in a set, it hurt. But I was able to cushion that blow by selling other sets. So it's like I didn't make, I sell 2 more of those sets and I get my money back. But it was still hurt. I don't care how well you're doing, you lose that chunk of money, it's still going to hurt. I did have another scam, which I wasn't out as much, but it was, actually I don't know, I may have given this person their money back, I can't remember, but this was back before the days where you could have tracking on everything with the Postal Service. I sent a package to Brazil, and it was comic books, and they said they never got it. I had no proof of shipping because I did not get insurance. Back then you could have him choose insurance. He didn't choose insurance, and instead of arguing over it with him, I just gave him his money back. It probably wasn't even $30. Back then it was cheaper to ship. They had this thing called surface mail, which they've done away with since. So you could still ship stuff overseas relatively cheap. It just took a long time. And I don't know if necessarily if it was a scam or if he just pressed the issue and then I gave him his money back, and then later he got the item. Because I have had things take up to 3 months shipping out, and I've had them take up to 3 months or more coming to me. In fact, I'll give you an example. I bought some Lego pins from a guy I think in the Netherlands, and I want to say about a month and a half had gone by and I hadn't got them. And I said, hey, I just want to let you know I hadn't got them. I didn't demand anything. I didn't say, hey, I want you to do something. I just said, I'm just letting you know. The reason I hadn't left feedback is the pins haven't come yet. I know they can be held up. Well, he went ahead and just gave me my money back. It was only, it was probably less than 10 pounds. And that's I think he used British currency, because you can choose your currency. Maybe it was euros. Probably it was euros. Anyway, it wasn't a lot. So he gave me my money back. And 2 months after that, package comes. Alright. And At first, my first thought was, did he send it after the fact? No, because it had postmark, and it was postmarked the day that he marked it as shipped on eBay. But it had all this tape on it, and it said inspected by the customs. So that package had been in customs for 3 months. And I think it was because it had those metal pins that they're Lego pins, but they had sharp point on them, because it was like a, when I say pin, not a writing pin, like it's almost like a safety pin type thing. So they were held up in customs. So that was not a scam, and so I did the right thing, I think, with that. I contacted the seller. I said, hey, I'll let you know the item actually did come, and I'd like to pay for it. So I sent him the money for the item. So he had returned the money. I returned it back to him. Everybody was happy. And this is, I get people that I've sold stuff to in the past, and they get antsy. They, 5 days after they ordered it, they didn't get it. And this is not a scam, this other stuff I'm going to talk about, but I've had people do very unkind things to me. I haven't received many negatives at all. I think in my whole time on eBay I had 3, maybe 4, and I remember the sting of the first one. I was doing really good. I was selling comic books and Lego sets, and a guy left me a negative feedback. Well, this was after, okay, so he buys a Spider-Man comic book, and the time, you're supposed to pay within 3 days. 3 days goes by, he hadn't paid, so I go through all the procedures. Hey, you hadn't paid. I email him first. Doesn't respond, doesn't respond, doesn't respond. So then a week goes by, I have to go through the procedures with eBay to a non-paying buyer. So I started that, still didn't respond. Well, a couple of days after that, he paid for it. Didn't put a message saying, hey man, I'm sorry, or anything like that. He just paid for it. So I sent the item, removed the non-paying bidder. He gets the item, then leaves me a negative feedback. I was so mad. I was so mad. Now I was like, now I know why people, if you haven't paid in 3 days, transaction, you violated the terms of the transaction. If they send you the money, they send it back. Say, nope, it's in my terms. Deal's over. That's what I should have done. Anytime anybody, you have to do a non-paying bidder to get them to pay. I think they should just, like, if I have to get to this point, I don't want them paying. So yeah, he left me a negative feedback. He said it had spin damage, S-P-I-N, spin damage, which I think he meant spine damage, which all that was in the description. Any defect that was on that comic book, I overly describe them. Almost everybody that bought comic books from me, they were like overly happy because I undergraded them. I'd rather undergrade them and you'd be happy with it than say, oh, this is near mint and have a crease on it, something stupid like that. But so I emailed him. I was nice, and he just left profanity-laced emails. I forwarded the emails to eBay. eBay did nothing. Another one of my, I was like, look, I have, and this was back in the day when it was harder to call eBay. They're a lot better now, but I was like, I've had all these successful transactions. You can see where I had to do the non-paying bidder to get him to pay. I could have even sent him a replacement because it was a comic book I had duplicates of. He didn't give me any out. He just wanted to leave. I mean, I fought that negative for so long. They wouldn't remove it. I had to block the guy because he would. And I didn't use a bad tone with him or anything, but he, profanity-laced emails. eBay didn't care. So that was my first negative. Got another negative on something I sold for my father-in-law, which was a train set, which the guy, I think, damaged himself because when he was describing, he said, this locomotive doesn't do what it's supposed to do. And I tried bending it back and then it broke. And I'm like, okay, first of all, that bend that you tried to bend back is the way it was supposed to be before you bent it. There was nothing wrong with it. It's articulated. It's supposed to be like that. So he broke it, and he left me a negative feedback, but I did not send him his money back. It was over $400. Fortunately, he did not do a chargeback, but he left me a negative, and I was not going to send him his money because he broke the item. I know how believe me, we're thorough in that stuff. It's like if I make a mistake or if I didn't pack something well enough for it to get to you, I will make good on it. If there was a defect that I overlooked, I can't tell you how many times I have sent people their money back, even when I think that they were trying to scam me. And that's another thing it brings up is scams, what people try to do on eBay is where they would buy something and then say it was broken and send it back to you, and it's not even the item you sent them. That has happened to people I know. So I have had people try to do that with me. Now, back in the early days, I didn't have a digital camera. I used a scanner, and I think people would actually they'd get their items. Oh, the item's broken. I want my money back. I would say, send me a picture. Show me what it looks like. They wouldn't do it. They go, oh, never mind. It's not so bad. That probably happened half a dozen times, where people would say my item's damaged. Please send me my money back. That was why you're not getting your money back until number one, you show me a picture. If it is damaged, you're sending me the item back, and that eliminated a lot of that type of fraud. And so I've made a lot of mistakes in BrickLink. Sending the wrong piece, maybe having something marked used, but it really new and it should have been marked used. But I've always made good on that stuff, and I got one neutral, and I'm mad about that because again, it was somebody that left the neutral, did not contact me, and most sellers view a neutral as a negative. So anyway, thanks for watching this bat. Was this a bat? I forgot. See you in the next video. BrickTsar.